Cowboy football looks to bounce back after a tough loss. Bedlam heads to the ice rink. And basketball is underway for the Cowgirls. All this and more coming up right here on the Poke Report. Hello everyone and welcome to week 6 of the Poke Report. I'm Alex Esky.
And I'm Asa Lucas. We have a great show lined up for you this week, so let's dive right into it.
We are outside of Boone Pickens Stadium standing on the Sherman E. Smith Training Center turf where our Cowboys practice each week.
Speaking of practice, the Cowboys will definitely need it this week after a crushing loss to Kansas State. Our own Noah Weber has the recap.
Spooky season means Halloween and crucial in-conference college football matchups across the country. The number 9 Oklahoma State Cowboys had their 5th conference game of the season on Saturday afternoon as they traveled to Manhattan to battle the number 22 Kansas State Wildcats. On their first drive of the game, K-State quarterback Will Howard finds Cade Warner for a 38-yard touchdown. K-State leads 7-0. Less than 3 minutes later, Deuce Vaughn took this run 62 yards all the way to the house for another Wildcat touchdown. K-State leads 14-0. About 5 minutes later, OSU quarterback Spencer Sanders finds Brennan Presley for what would have been a 29-yard pickup, but K-State linebacker Austin Moore forces the fumble to give the ball back to the Wildcats. Moving ahead to the second quarter, Howard finds Phillip Brooks for the 31-yard strike to give the Wildcats a 21-0 lead. On their next drive, K-State finds the end zone again. Howard finds Warner for his second touchdown of the day. Wildcats lead 28-0. With just 7 seconds remaining in the first half, Howard finds Vaughn for a 1-yard score, his second touchdown of the day. K-State now leads 35-0. The Wildcats scored their final points of the game with under 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter on a 6-yard run from DJ Giddens. The Wildcats defeated the Cowboys 48-0 to move to 4-1 in Big 12 conference play. This blowout loss was the first time the Cowboys have been shut out since 2009 when they lost 27-0 to OU. The Cowboys had several injuries going into last week, and this many injuries to key players caused OSU head coach Mike Gundy to alter the style of practice in order to protect these injured players. Gundy blames part of this loss on their preparation and lack of physicality in practice.
I didn't do a good job this week. I was concerned about a variety of things this week. We didn't practice like we normally practice, and that's my fault. And that's what you get. I apologized to the team.
OSU wide receiver John Paul Richardson is still confident in his team and said the goal for the team does not change going forward.
Yeah, just take it kind of, with a chip on your shoulder, and this is a feeling that you remember and you don't want to ever go through again. So just focus in practice this week and just give it our all throughout the week and bust our tails and see what happens.
The Cowboys will look to bounce back this week as they battle the Kansas Jayhawks on Saturday afternoon. For the Poke Report, I'm Noah Weber.
Thanks, Noah, for the recap. Kickoff is at 2:30 this Saturday in Lawrence. Alex, you got to cover that horrific game. I still can't believe what happened. What did you see in Manhattan? What was it like?
It was more of what I didn't see from the team. Everyone was texting, I turned the game off, and I said, I wish I could turn the game off, but I was on the field with our loyal and true Cowboys, and hopefully this is the reset we needed going into the later half of the season.
Okay, so we're going to push past the game and now kind of talk about the atmosphere. What was the Little Apple? Does it live up to the hype?
It for sure does. Now, obviously, I wish the game outcome was different, but I loved going to Manhattan, Kansas. Everyone was so nice. The campus was beautiful. We got to meet some people, and it was great to go. We're going to give you guys a deeper look into what game day atmosphere is like at Kansas State. Noah Blackwell has the scoop.
The atmosphere at college football stadiums attract millions of people every fall. Constant debate between Big Ten and SEC schools on best game day atmosphere is a given, but often overlooked are the small college towns in the Big 12. That brings me to Manhattan, Kansas, 58 miles west of the state capital and the site of Kansas State University.
I think Manhattan is one of those little treasures that people don't understand. It's off of the interstate, so you have to go there to experience it. You can't just go through it. And it's just one of those the limestone buildings on the campus are beautiful. It has kind of this continuity.
Tailgating is a huge part of college football in the setting of a great atmosphere. I was in Manhattan during their homecoming and explored what their tailgate scene was all about.
About family. At the end of the day, it's about a game, right? And it's about having a good time. And, you know, we appreciate you guys being here, and we appreciate having the opportunity to be here ourselves. So why wouldn't we just have a good time together? You know, the world's a crazy place right now, so, you know, let's just all enjoy life.
Most colleges around the country believe they have a top game day atmosphere, but not how the Little Apple does it.
It's not just the locals who believe the game day culture in Manhattan is different. Opposing team fans who make the trip have nothing to worry about when it comes to trash talk.
Oh man, the atmosphere, the fans are just phenomenal. Everybody's super welcoming. And when we were walking up, you know, from the parking lot, you could smell a good brisket. That's when you know it's going to be a good game day.
The warm personality is felt through the unique qualities of the town, like the Johnny Caw statue, a wheat farmer and famous fictional character in Kansas. Bill Snyder Family Football Stadium is also unique with its castle-like architecture and stone exterior. The Little Apple did not disappoint with its game day atmosphere and welcoming small-town personality. For the Poke Report, I'm Noah Blackwell.
Thank you, Noah. Now, I gotta say, wish the game turned out better, but I'm glad to cross Manhattan, Kansas off my Big 12 bucket list.
I'm bummed out that I didn't get to go. I know Jace did a really good job, but down the line, one day, I want to go to Manhattan and experience
Maybe we'll
it.
have to go as alumni together, okay?
Oh,
let's write that
that'd
down.
be fun.
All right, well, let's move past OSU's loss and take a look at the rest of the Big 12 last week. We are now joined by our Big 12 expert, Jace Andrews, up in the studio. Jace?
Thanks, Alex and Asa. I'm still trying to recover from the Cowboys game as well, but let's try and move on and look at some of the other Big 12 games from last week. Let's start first with TCU taking on West Virginia in Morgantown. This was a high-scoring game from two really good offenses. First quarter, West Virginia on top 7-0 when Max Duggan finds Tay Barber for a 71-yard strike as both offenses were just getting started. We move ahead now, fourth quarter, Mountaineers down 10 and JT Daniels trying to mount a comeback as he tosses it to Reese Smith and he snags the ball out of the air and holds on as he takes a hit to bring West Virginia within 3. A couple of drives later, it's the Horned Frogs and Savion Williams catching his third touchdown of the year, this one sealing the victory for TCU and keeping their season perfect. We now travel over to Ames, Iowa, where the Cyclones, still looking for their first conference win, are taking on the Oklahoma Sooners. We start in the second quarter with the game tied at 3 and Oklahoma setting up to take the lead with a field goal of their own, but whoop, it's a fake. Michael Turk, the punter, finds the kicker Zach Schmidt for a 2-yard dump pass, and Schmidt finds the end zone to give OU a 10-3 lead. We go into half with the Sooners up 13-6. Third quarter now, and Dylan Gabriel throws his only touchdown of the day to Jaleel Farouk, and Oklahoma up 20-6 now. Oklahoma comes out on top with the final score 27-16, and they improve to 5-3 ahead of their matchup with Baylor. Speaking of Baylor, they were in Lubbock taking on the Red Raiders. The Bears were looking like their normal selves in this game, with the standout freshman Richard Reese putting the ball in the end zone 2 times in the second quarter to give Baylor a commanding 17-3 lead at the half. Late third quarter now, Baylor on top 24-10 and make that 24-17 as Byrne Morton runs it in from 8 yards out to shrink the deficit to 7. But the fourth quarter was all Bears as they score not once, not twice, but 3 times in the fourth to give Baylor the 45-17 victory. Alex, Asa, I will see y'all in just a bit for our weekly pick'em.
Thank you, Jace. Yes, we'll see you later on in the show.
Ever wonder what it's like to coach your first year as a head basketball coach? How about how the Cowboys are doing in the NBA? We have all that coming up for you up next.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars, like fresh-packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza. Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie Ford Lincoln.
At ASAP Energy, our goal is to provide the best customer service for whatever our clients need.
My relationship with ASAP Energy came about in 2007. I was wanting to build a convenience store. I didn't know how to do it. I'd never been in the business. I just felt comfortable with Rick. And so I knew that I wanted to do business with a guy like that. Integrity, loyalty, and family. I would recommend that to anybody. Thanks for taking a chance on me.
At ASAP Energy, everything matters.
Where were you born? It's a question asked all the time. Because where you're from shapes who you are, inspires how you do things. And when that inspiration comes from a place this refreshing, this majestic, this... well, you get the idea. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
Welcome back, everybody. It's good to have you here, and it is a good day to be a Cowgirl basketball fan.
Yes, it is. The team tipped off on Tuesday in an exhibition match. Derek Mendez has the recap.
The Oklahoma State women's basketball team commenced its J.C. Hoyt era in their exhibition game Tuesday night against Northeastern State. The Riverhawks grabbed an early lead, but it didn't last long as Naomi Alnadas found Lexi Keys on the wing, who hit a three and moved the Cowgirls into the lead. OSU would not fall behind again after securing the lead, and they went on to close the first quarter on a 20-4 run. Alnadas found her shot in the second quarter and hit back-to-back threes to lead an 8-1 run and put the Cowgirls ahead 32-13 around the halfway mark of the second. Alnadas was the leading scorer in the quarter with 11 points as the Cowgirls outscored the Riverhawks 20-1 and had a 45-13 lead going into halftime. Cassidy Delap also had a solid quarter with 10 points, and Alnadas praised her performance off the bench and her importance to the team.
You think about the amount of boards. I mean, we don't have the stats right now, but anytime we were shooting high percentage too, but anytime we would miss, Cassidy was around rebounding and having putbacks. So I know it's not about the time, the amount of time that you're playing. It's whenever you have those minutes, what you're doing with it. And I know that if we didn't have Cass, it would have been probably a different outcome, but she was going for it. So I'll give her a lot of props.
Coming out of the break, the Cowgirls continued to score, going on an 11-0 run. The Riverhawks could not figure out how to keep up with OSU's offense in the last two quarters as they continued to have looks beyond the arc and dominated inside the paint as well. The Cowgirls finished the game with a dominating 91-41 victory, increasing its exhibition contest win streak to 26 in a row. OSU also ended the night with 6 scores in double figures. J.C. Hoyt was pleased with the team's performance and acknowledged how proud she is of her players.
They have been so bought in and just believed from day one that they got here, that they came to do something really special. And I think that tonight it was just so rewarding for me as a coach to be able to see, that come to fruition.
The Cowgirls look to continue to build from this win with their season opener coming up on November 7th at Gallagher-Iba Arena as they will face UT Rio Grande Valley with tip-off scheduled for 5 p.m. Reporting for the Poke Report, I'm Derek Mendez.
Thank you, Derek. Asa, what are you most excited about this season?
So Alex, as you know, I am my dream is to be a sportscaster, to do play-by-play and to broadcast. And one of my favorite things I did as a junior at Oklahoma State was I got to broadcast with Jace Andrews.
Oh, yes.
We did close to a dozen games of women's basketball. So it's always fun to go into Gallagher-Iba and get to describe the game with a good friend.
Well, hopefully you guys can get to do that again more this year.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're now going to bring on our Big 12 basketball expert, Tony Whitmore. Tony, take it away.
Thanks, guys. The Cowgirls had an extremely great start to their season with a 91-41 win over Northeastern State Tuesday night in their exhibition game. Coach Hoyt was extremely pleased with her team and their offense after the game, and leading scorer Cassidy Delap had 16 points and 9 rebounds. The Cowgirls will be back in action here in GIA on Monday at 5 p.m.
Thanks, Tony. I'm super excited for basketball season to be here in Stillwater.
All right, well, while college basketball is just getting underway, the NBA is fully in force. We are going to take a look at how our former OSU stars are doing on the hardwood this season. First, let's get started with the OKC Thunder's very own Lindy Waters. The Oklahoma City native is getting significantly less minutes than he had last season, and as a result, his totals aren't anywhere close to where they were last year. Waters has only played in 2 games thus far, averaging 1.5 points per game on 16.7% shooting with 1 rebound. Not the greatest start to the season, but he should see improved minutes, and the totals should rise as well.
Next on the list is the feisty all-star defender from Boston, Marcus Smart. Smart is 6th on his team in scoring and 1st in steals and assists. As the reigning defensive player of the year, Smart is averaging 9.5 points per game to go with 6.2 assists and 3.2 boards. He's also got 1.3 steals and 34.2 minutes played.
Last but certainly not least is the 2021 #1 overall pick, Cade Cunningham. The young star for the Pistons is already seeing increases in his totals from last year and is more of a facilitator on the court. His shooting percentage is also increasing. The second-year man out of OSU is shooting just under 45% this year while averaging 23.1 points per game while notching 6.1 rebounds per game and 6.8 assists. Be sure to take a look on all of our pro pokes on the hardwood all season long. Have you ever imagined what Pistol Pete and the Sooner Schooner looks like on ice? We'll show you what that'll look like and our fan favorite pick'em segment after this break.
The deli department at Homeland is Oklahoma's headquarters for party trays. Enjoy the time with family and friends at your next event, and let your neighborhood Homeland create the perfect fruit, deli, or cheese tray for you. The party planners at Homeland will help you choose the perfect party food, sized just right for your guests. Call us, stop in, or order online, and we'll make it ready for pickup on your schedule. Make your next party special with a party tray from your neighborhood Homeland.
Good to be home, Homeland.
Love these things. Hilarious. I'm sorry, force of habit.
As long as you are you, it's Miller time.
Hi, it's Sam at Louis Grill and Bar, here to introduce our new menu items from south of the border. Come try our new poblano chicken tacos, or the ever-popular sriracha shrimp tacos. At Louis, where you come for the food, but stay for the fun.
It's hard to imagine my life before her, or a day without her. So much of what I take for granted simply wouldn't exist. She is the force that holds our life together. She is my everything, the center of my universe, from Forevermark. The diamond, the promise. Available at Lewis Jewelers.
I'm Randy Heights with 1077 The Franchise, and let me tell you about the HCG diet from New Leaf Wellness and what it's meant to me. Over the last year, I've dropped 90 pounds, and this has been a lifesaver, guys. I'm in a wheelchair, so I can't always get to the gym, and what's been incredible about this diet, when I can't work out, I still lose the weight. 90 pounds in a year is a lot for anyone, but for me, it's been a miracle. Why don't you give New Leaf Wellness Centers a call and see if they can't help you with a free consultation, or go online at newleafcenters.com.
Welcome back to our final segment of the Poke Report.
I know many Okies aren't hockey fans, but there is a big matchup on the ice this weekend between our Cowboys and the school down south. Drew Allen has the story.
In just the second year since inception, the Oklahoma State hockey team is preparing to play on its biggest stage yet, The Cowboys are competing in Bedlam against the Oklahoma Sooners on November 5th in Tulsa's BOK Center. The BOK Center is home to the ECHL's Tulsa Oilers and seats over 19,000 people. Oklahoma State hockey president Jacob Thompson is excited to see the team that he started get this opportunity.
No, it's insane that we got to pull this off, and we wanted to start a Bedlam rivalry anyway. And I think it's going to be great playing in front of so many fans. It's going to grow OSU hockey and OU hockey's recognition, and I think it's just going to make the sport bigger in Oklahoma itself.
Bedlam is always the most exciting and hyped up game every year for every OSU sport, and this year hockey is no different.
Playing the Bedlam game is probably going to be the highlight of my hockey career. I don't think I'll play hockey once I graduate, so it's definitely an experience of a lifetime.
I think it'll definitely be a intense game, and it'll definitely be something that I really think you're going to be able to compare. It's going to be intense, and it's going to be a show.
The Cowboy hockey players admitted to having nerves going into the biggest game of their playing careers, but they said the excitement outweighs the nerves to see a big opportunity for a team that has done so much for them.
I've never played on like a college team really. I've been playing juniors, but I had the same aspects of playing juniors and college, but I got to know more people. More people started kind of recognizing me on campus and stuff, so it was a good time meeting a lot of people.
OSU hockey has provided me with a community at OSU. I made friends for life, and it's just been great. I could never imagine having such a great time. These great people around me at my time at OSU.
The players insist the nerves can't compare to the excitement of playing in a bigger arena in front of more people together as a team. For the Poke Report, I'm Drew Allen.
Thank you, Drew.
Swinging on over to tennis, both the Cowboys and Cowgirls are finishing up their fall season this weekend. Let's take a look at how both teams shaped up this fall. Starting off with the Cowboys, the team attended 7 tournaments over 2 months. They started off at the Orlando Fall Shootout, and Alex Garcia and Alicio Basil were 2 standouts. Garcia, a senior, and Basil, a freshman. Both men finished with 3 wins over the weekend. A few weeks ago, the team went a perfect 8-0 on the first day of ITA Regionals in Fayetteville. Basil and Garcia did well here too, with Garcia being the lone Cowboy to advance to the quarterfinals, where he ultimately fell. Most recently, the Cowboys repped America's Brightest Orange down in Norman at the Norman Future. Tyler Zink, a senior with his partner George Goldhoff of Baylor, took home the trophy in doubles action. The duo defeated fellow Cowboy Alicio Basil and his partner in the championship. This weekend, the team is down in Tuscaloosa competing in the SEC Big 12 Showdown. The tournament started this morning and will conclude on Sunday. Cowboy Tennis on Twitter will have updates. The Cowgirls competed in 6 tournaments this fall from coast to coast, California to Stillwater to North Carolina, but they started their season in Lubbock. We've talked about several of these Cowgirls throughout the season, but they're worth mentioning again. At the ITF 15K Lubbock Pro Circuit, Raquel Gonzalez and Ayumi Miyamoto were the stars. Gonzalez ultimately defeated Miyamoto to advance to the quarterfinals, where she fell. Sofia Rojas has been on top this fall, which started with her championship victory in the ITA Intercollegiate Championships in San Diego. This win earned her a wild card to professional tournament as well. She defeated the 7 seed in 3 sets. This weekend, the team is hosting the Big 12 Fall Invite. Like the Cowboys, the girls started action earlier today. The Cowgirl Tennis on Twitter has updates. While it hasn't been announced yet for the Cowboys, the Cowgirls just released their spring schedule earlier this week. Highlights include the season opener in Vegas, January 13th, their first home match February 25th, and regular season conclusion on April 16th. Be on the lookout for a schedule release from the Cowboys hopefully in the next week or so, but like I said, check out both teams on Twitter as they are competing currently.
Alex, now is the time for the fan favorite part of the show, the Big 12 Pick'em.
All right, before we get into our predictions for this week, let's take a look at our season records. Asa, I know you missed the very first week of the Poke Report, so you're always going to be 2 games behind, unfortunately. Your record is 6-4. Jace is an even 50-50 on the season with a record of 6-6. And I had an amazing week last week. If it wasn't for the Cowboys loss, I would have gone 4-0, but I improved to 7-5 on the season.
So consolation prize, though, I have a winning percentage and Jace doesn't.
That is correct. That is correct.
That's, sorry, Jace. I know you're in the studio. That probably didn't make you very happy, but there's a silver lining to this, I guess.
There is. All right, well, let's start off with the pick'ems. First off, Baylor in Norman taking on the Oklahoma Sooners. Asa, who do you have in this one?
Okay. So in the Big 12, especially in college football, you always want to go with the momentum rule. Teams that are on a winning streak, teams that are looking confident, looking fast, looking smart, you tend to go with that. However, from all the trauma I have from watching Oklahoma State lose to Oklahoma year in and year out, and watching Lincoln Riley just do whatever he wants in this conference, I still feel like OU has that respect and kind of a disdain for what's been happening to them.
Even though Lincoln Riley's not here anymore.
Correct, but Oklahoma just shows me glimpses of some top tier playing, so I'm going to go with the Sooners.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with the momentum. The Bears, they had that big win over Texas Tech last week that you and I did predict, so I'm going with the Bears. I think that they will be triumphant in that school down south. Jace, who do you have?
Now remember, last year it was the Bears getting the better of the Sooners in Waco. Sooners now definitely looking for revenge, this time in Norman, and I honestly don't think they get it. Baylor looked great against Tech, and I think they'll look even better against this game. I got the Bears coming out on top.
All right, so Jace and I agree here. We got the Baylor Bears coming out on top.
I don't know if you want Jace Andrews being the one to decide with, but okay.
All right,
okay.
Well, we'll see. Moving on, the next matchup, Texas against Kansas State.
This is an interesting one. This is very interesting, and I guess I'm really going back on my words sounding like a hypocrite, because Kansas State has all the momentum in the world right now. They're looking great. They could even make a push for a Big 12 title game. However, Texas historically has done very well against Kansas State in the last 10 years, even when they were going 5-7 and barely qualifying for bowl eligibility. And Texas is going to try to find their identity. Sarkisian's starting to feel the hot seat a little bit. So there's going to be an upset, and I got the Longhorns winning that one.
Jace, who do you have in this one?
All right, in this one, I'm going to have to go with Texas, as I just think that it's going to be a hangover game for K-State, and I don't see Texas dropping any more games in the rest of the season.
Okay, well, I don't know if I agree that
I like it, Jace. I
don't
like
think that Texas will completely win out. However, I do think that they're going to win in this game. I think the OSU loss was more of an OSU defeat than a Kansas State win. I think the Longhorns have more in them than Kansas State does.
Agreed.
All right, now the undefeated team in the Big 12, TCU taking on Texas Tech. What are your thoughts on this one?
If there's any disagreement amongst us three, I think someone's got to check into like a hospital or something. Something's not right. TCU's going to be winning this one, no problem. As scary as tortillas can be and all the good that Coach McGuire is doing down there, that is not going to be able at all to compete with Max Duggan and what TCU is doing.
So you're saying that a horned frog is scarier than a tortilla?
Absolutely.
Is that what haunts you at night?
If I see a horned frog in my car versus a tortilla in my car, you forget about it. I'm not going into my car. I'm calling AAA.
Okay, well, I have the TCU horned frogs coming out on top as well. Jace, can we make it 3 for 3?
Although Tech has looked good at times, I really don't think they get it done here. Horned Frogs are a team that is definitely going to be matched up with the rest of the season. I think they remain undefeated this weekend.
Taking a look at tomorrow's matchup, we all have the Cowboys coming out on top. Hopefully last week's loss was the reset the team needed, and OSU can come out of Lawrence with a win. That'll do it for today's show. Make sure you're following The Poke Report on all social medias for everything OSU Athletics. I'm Alex Husky.
And I'm Asa Lucas. Don't forget, go Pokes!